In a thrilling come-from-behind victory, the New England Patriots defeated the Atlanta Falcons 34-28 on Sunday, claiming the 5th Super Bowl victory for the franchise. Per tradition, the team is being scheduled to visit the White House in the upcoming weeks. However, to progressive delight, one by one, black members of the Patriots are refusing to visit Donald Trump's White House. One saying this, Devin McCourty says, "I am not going to the White House," he told Time magazine in a text message. "Basic reason for me is I don't feel accepted in the White House with the president having so many strong opinions and prejudices. I believe certain people might feel accepting while others won't." Since his announcement, 2 other black Patriot players have said they won't step foot in the White House either. One of those being Dante Hightower.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing about this story that I want folks to first communicate out. This is nothing new. I mean, let's be very clear. Tom Brady did not go to the Obama White House either.
That's a good point. That's something to consider.
Tom Brady didn't go because he's
another reason to hate Tom Brady.
Yeah, I hate Tom Brady. Like, he is white privilege, white male privilege on crack and steroids and heroin and like kryptonite. Because he can deflate gate, he can come back, people still praise him like he's done nothing wrong. He cheated.
And then win again and say, "Oh, I'm back." I mean,
and become the MVP after he cheated the last time.
I mean, I don't know. The bottom line is like, let's pretend that he's not Tom Brady. He's good. He's a good quarterback. I mean, he's NFL history 100%. But the fact of the matter is, you cannot separate the skill from the person.
No, you cannot. And I mean, but to this story, I commend both Devin McCourty as well as Dante Hightower for being brave and being bold. And they're not the only sports athletes speaking out. What we also saw this week is Stephen Curry of the Golden Nut. No, not the Golden Nut. Why can't I remember what team?
Golden State Warriors.
The Golden State Warriors said, you know, Under Armour has supported Trump. He has a big sponsorship deal with Under Armour. And he says, "How do you feel about Trump?" And he says, Under Armour called him an asset. What do you call him? And he said, "If you remove the ET, I just think Donald Trump's an ass."
I like that.
And he's not the only one. We've seen LeBron James be very vocal about what's wrong with Donald Trump here. And I think here's the thing. I maybe it's just me, but I don't think we've ever seen this level of resistance to a president, at least in my lifetime, where people, like even George Bush, while we didn't like him, I mean,
it's just so different.
It's completely different. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like George Bush, but I didn't feel as though, like, I never thought that George Bush was racist. Like, even though like Kanye said it, and like people were pushing this narrative of him being racist, I totally understand why he didn't land in New Orleans. Because if anybody does any work, if you ever work with Secret Service, if you ever work with a person, somebody running for office or a president, you understand when they show up, you sap resources, right, from the area where that's in desperate need of resources. So, but people just have a huge problem with Donald Trump. Like, people are not, the people that voted for him clearly love him, but everybody else is like, yo, this dude's got issues.
Yeah, I mean, the list of issues goes, oh my God. I mean, there's just so many things that are
wrong,
upsetting, that just like, if it was just a standard Republican in office, people wouldn't be worried. I mean, first of all, like, people are actually scared that the next time like a real conflict comes up in the international space, Donald Trump is not going to be able to handle it, and he's going to do something stupid. I mean, we've shown that he doesn't read his briefings.
Nope.
Hell, he didn't even read his own executive order promoting Bannon to the National Security
Council.
Council.
Makes like, and then they just make things up. Like, he says, "Oh, the crime rate is at a 47-year high." Yes, it's uptick, but it's not a 47-year high. He then says that the media didn't cover all these terrorist attacks, and then the media actually
and then they released this list of like 47 terrorist attacks,
and half of them were covered. And some of them were misspelled. Like, they didn't even spell check.
The BBC literally covered every single terrorist attack on that list. And some of them that they listed were huge. Yeah. It was like San Bernardino. Like
then his Kellyanne Conway, his lapdog, she says, "Oh, the Bowling Green massacre," and everybody's like, I mean, I was watching it, and I was like, Bowling Green Massacre? When did that happen?
That's not a thing.
Did I miss that? And then we saw this week that Sean Spicer, his press secretary and communications director, said that you should weigh what I say in the briefing room. This is what he said. More than a Trump tweet. So what I say in the briefing room...
It's more important.
No, is at a higher weight than what Donald Trump tweets out.
Direct from the fucking brain of the president.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing that's so disturbing about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is doing this thing where he is lying blatantly. Like, he is literally saying, like, we're showing you this picture of the mall, and there's very clearly less people in his inauguration than President Obama's. And he's saying, look at these pictures. No, my crowd was bigger. Look,
and
look
let
at
me
the
say
picture.
this.
My crowd was bigger.
Listen,
it's insane.
From somebody who's covered, I've worked 3 inaugurations. I've been blessed to work all 3, including this last one. I mean, whether you like it or not, Trump is a part of American history, so I've worked his inauguration. When I worked the Obama, the first one, like, well, when you wake up in the morning and like the streets were just packed, there were like people everywhere. It's like, I can't breathe. Then I worked the second Obama one, and we were like at the front, and it was packed.
Oh yeah.
I worked this one on the mall, and I got to work right before it started, and I could have walked down, which is Independence, right, to get to where I needed to go, like this. And my hand, I have about a 6-foot hands, like my hand span, and not touch a soul. I kid you not. I should have videotaped it.
It was like a good day at the museums.
It was empty. It was literally empty. I mean, empty. Like, I walked in the corner bakery across the street from the Capitol, where the Fox News Bureau is, and I walked inside, and I'm like, oh, it's like a normal Monday in here. Like, it was the Starbucks. The line wasn't like when Obama, like, you couldn't get into the Starbucks.
Right.
And then, I mean, on top of that, even Metro. Like, Metro was like, there's how many people? And he was like, oh, no, they're wrong. And I'm like, why would Metro lie? What incentive do they have to lie?
Sure. I mean, like, he's basically, like, the lies just don't even make sense. Like, okay, here's a perfect example. When he's talking about the insane amount of voter fraud that allegedly occurred.
3.5 million voters.
We've talked about this before on the show. Richard knows this. The idea that there could be a conspiracy of this size to have 3 million votes is impossible. I mean, it would be a conspiracy from both sides of the aisle.
Thank you.
Going down to the local level. It would be like everyone would be in on it except Donald Trump.
Exactly. That means all these secretaries of state, like, for all this voter fraud to happen, it would be like in Florida,
like
for example.
So insane.
67 different, like, board of election supervisors have to like concur to gauge in that fraud. It has to knock it out to the feds or the press. It's malarkey, America.
It's insane. Like, but the little old lady on your block that goes to work at the voting desk, she's in on it, but Donald Trump doesn't know about it.
But it's a smokescreen because he does this, right? So right after the Muslim ban, which is what it is, that Monday, because the Muslim ban was bad for the White House, they come on, they're like, the press is dishonest. And so the press focuses on them being dishonest and while he's banning Muslims.
Right.
Same thing we saw. So this week, he created all this flurry of controversy around Ivanka's shoes. But while that was happening, he started these mass deportations.
And they managed to squeeze some confirmations through while they're at it.
Exactly. So they do these smoke screens. So they want you to focus, like, look over here, look over here.
Right.
There goes a silver object while they're doing that to deporting people. So you've got to watch this White House carefully because it's all deception, smoke screens, tricks and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. So that when you look over here, while you're looking over here, they're doing crazy things over here.
Gotta watch what the other hand's
doing.
So
on Thursday, for example, we saw this White House talk about, we'll see you in court to the Ninth Circuit, but he also passed 3 executive orders emboldening police brutality.
Right.
At the same time. Right? So you got to watch this. You got to watch him. You got to watch him like a hawk.